force built to defend Singapore. Only Fort Siloso has been preserved. Visits to Fort Siloso begin in the year 1885. The significance of Fort Siloso includes its historical value in Singapore, its contribution to Singapore's tourism, and also serves as a symbol of the events that has shaped Singapore to the way it is today.
Fort Siloso has its historical value in Singapore. During World War II, Fort Siloso was set up to defend Singapore and prevent Japanese attacks as the British felt that the Japanese would be attacking by sea. After the war, Fort Siloso was preserved and it serves education purposes like teaching students about Singapore's history during the war. Fort Siloso now features many exhibits that recreate the drama of the past. It contains old tunnels, original guns, cannons, film clips, and photographs from wartime. Now, primary school students have the opportunities to visit Fort Siloso on their excursions and learn about what actually happened in the past, mainly through the exhibitions. For example, Bendemeer Primary 5 pupils had visited Fort Siloso on 23rd July 2009. After the trip, the pupils have a good understanding of the events of the Japanese invasion and occupation of Singapore and appreciate the need to defend Singapore, building their knowledge about the major historical events in Singapore and enhance their Singaporean identity and realize their future lies in relation to the progress of Singapore. Therefore, the students will be able to understand the purpose of Fort Siloso during World War II and learn more about the history of Singapore, showing the historical value of Fort Siloso.
Another significance of Fort Siloso, which is situated on Sentosa Island, is its contributions to the economic growth in Singapore. Fort Siloso is Singapore's only preserved coastal fort, and it stands as an important place to view our colonial past and a distressing reminder of the war years. Today, the military facility in Fort Siloso has been converted into a military museum and serves as a tourist attraction at Sentosa Island. It has boosted the tourist industry as it attracts many visitors who want to have an experience of how life is like during the Second World War. As such, the number of visitors to Sentosa has increased significantly from 3.9 million in 2001 to more than 5.3 million in 2006, with record attendances from both the local and tourist markets. With the number of visitors increasing, Singapore earns more revenue, and this leads to an economic growth in Singapore.
Lastly, Singapore also symbolizes a great event that has shaped Singapore's identity. During World War II, Fort Siloso is one of the many forts that were built to fend off naval attacks from the Japanese. Unfortunately, the British had not expected the Japanese to attack from the north, resulting in Singapore falling under Japanese control. After the war ended with Japanese loss, Singapore learned that she could no longer rely on others to defend herself, and she had to work together as a nation in order to prevent herself from falling into enemy hands again. With Fort Siloso still standing and people still able to visit it, people can be reminded of the time when Japan had control over Singapore and how the Singaporeans suffered during this time. The citizens are also reminded of how Singapore must be able to fend for itself, instead of relying on her allies for support, in order to prevent an event like this from happening again.
In conclusion, Fort Siloso is important to Singapore's history and education, a great boom for Singapore's economic growth, and is also a symbol for an event that has changed Singapore to the way that it is today.